with a political discussion. Turn on cable news, you can get all of that you can handle. But I do want to talk to you about leading from behind. Is it possible? Now, when that comment made, there was a staggering backlash. America doesn't lead from behind. It's impossible. No one can lead from behind. And when I first heard that, I said, no one, that's not where a leader is supposed to be. A leader is supposed to be out front, in front of the troops, directing, pointing, engaging. That's what real leadership is all about, and that's what a real leader does. But then I started thinking, is it possible to lead from behind? In a Toastmasters setting, is it possible for our leadership to lead not from the front, but from behind? How would that look? How would they go about doing that? And I brought myself to realize that maybe it is doable. Maybe our president doesn't have to be out front and be the cheerleader, that she could quietly contact people and motivate them, encourage them, especially now in this environment that we all find ourselves looking like the Brady Bunch. Maybe the VPE could not be out front screaming about who hasn't done their level 1 and level 2, but that person could quietly, from behind, without any fanfare, contact people and say, hey, it's time for your icebreaker. It's time to do your research speech. It's something that I think Toastmasters has never really addressed. You know how Toastmasters are. Oh, join us. You're going to be a great public speaker and you'll improve your leadership skills. What they don't tell you is where you utilize those leadership skills. Most of us think out front. But is a leader who leads from behind equally as important? What about membership? The leader, our officer leader in membership, the VP of membership, do they need to be out front at every meeting screaming at us to send a check to the treasurer? Or can they quietly and effectively do it from behind, contacting each individual, emailing, hey, we really need to get that in. We need that Smedley Award. You can do it. Don't forget. Leadership is a very difficult thing to understand. Some people say leaders are born. Some people say leaders are made. My take on it is most of people are born leaders until they're not. You see, to be a leader, you have to have followers. To have followers, you have to have something to make those folks want to follow you, to work with you, to be part of what you're doing. Nowhere does it say that has to be done from the front. It can be done from the rear. Look at the many successful people in the world. Yeah, some are flamboyant. Some are out there. A lot of flash, pomp, circumstance. Look at a person like Sam Walton, created Walmart. If you saw him on the street, you'd never know he was the CEO of one of the largest companies in the world. You know what Sam would do? He'd have someone fly him by helicopter out to one of his stores. He'd land and he'd go in the store and work, leading from behind, quietly serving as a positive example to influence so many other people. Isn't that what we expect of our Toastmaster officers and our Toastmaster members? You don't have to be an officer to lead. You have to be a leader. You have to sell something that people want, either from the front or from the back. Some people don't like the limelight. Some people don't like to be out front. But there is equally good leaders as the person out front with the pom-poms. Leadership is a tricky animal. It's hard to understand. It's hard to do. And there's always something we were taught in the military about situational leadership. Your style of leadership fits the situation. If you're in combat, you're an autocrat. Sometimes you could do democratic. Well, the same can be said for your position. In one situation, you may be out front. One situation, you may need to lead from behind. Mr. Toastmaster of the evening,